Hey everyone, we're going to go through some Kittl hacks. Some of these you might know, some of them you don't know. A lot of them I use pretty much every single day, along with many of the other designers here at Kittl. And so I wanted to clue you in on some things that is going to make your life easier. I've got 10 or so. I think I have a bonus one at the end, but I've got 10 that we are going to go through together. First one is something really new and exciting, and that is the ability to scale your design perfectly or adjust the design to your artboard size perfectly. So what I have to do here is just click on, I'll use this as an example, this little thumbnail here. I'll click on the artboard. As you can see up here in the top right, there is a dimension size right here. But what I'm going to do is actually just grab from the bottom anchor right here. I'm going to grab from the bottom anchor, and all I'm going to do is start dragging it down, and it perfectly scales my design with it. And so now I've moved it, and now you can see it's adjusted right here. Now, let's say I already had the design at that size, and I wanted to put it back at 1920 by 1080. Well, I need to click on this aspect ratio first, but I'm going to show you what happens if I don't. So if I just hit 1980, because that's what I want, and then I come click over on the height, well, boom, it has now expanded my width, but it didn't change the design because the aspect ratio is not ready. So let me hit Command Z to go back. And so now what I'm going to do is hit the aspect ratio lock. So it's locked now, meaning whatever I put in the width is going to adjust the height. So 1920, and all I have to do is simply click out of it, and it has adjusted this to 1080. Put any size you want, 800, and it is going to adjust it to the correct size. Or like I said, you can scale it from any corner, and yes, this does work for templates. So let's use one of our really cool templates here. Same thing, I can scale it as much as I want, up or down, and it will adjust over here on the size. You can also see it right here moving. You can see, I can't move it and move my mouse, but you can see the numbers here changing, right, which are reflected up here in the top right. So that is the first hack. The second hack I have for you is something that I didn't even know when I first did the first video on using references for AI art. So over here in Kittl AI, in the Advanced tab, you have the ability to upload a style. So you can see I've uploaded a couple different styles, right? But what I didn't know is that if I have an illustration of something, let's just say, an element or an image actually. So instead of an element, let's just say that we've been searching in the images and we found, let's say waterfall. Okay, yeah, this looks pretty awesome. So let's say that we found this style that we really like. We can right click and boom, save as image style. When I click that, it is going to automatically update over here in the saved styles for me to use for a generation that I want. For some reason, I was generating a panda bear last. I don't even, yeah. So there we go. Nature photo, nice. So let's say fantasy forest with a castle in the background. And it's going to use this as a style, so I wonder what it's going to give us. Ooh, nice. Okay, I like it. Ooh, yeah. I think it took a lot of the way that the water is, and wow, I really love how the light is coming through, and it even kept the kind of same composition of the trees coming in from the top, and it really took fantasy to heart when I said it. Okay, this is not an AI video, but anyway. All right, the next one is really easy, is I am going to put my artboard back in view. Okay, so a lot of people ask, how do I get my artboard back in the center? It's really confusing. I can't find it. I scroll and scroll and I can't find it. Well, if you hit Shift and the number 2, boom, it populates back in the middle. Okay, so if I like accidentally go, whoo, it's gone. Oh no, and I just start hitting the minus key, Oh no, where is it? Oh, it's right here. It's way down here. Okay, Shift 2, boom, there it is. It's back. Okay. Now, if you have a bunch of these, okay, that I'm just gonna duplicate a bunch. Now, I don't have anything selected. I'm gonna hit Shift 2. It's just gonna go to the last one you were working on. But let's say you're zoomed out and you want to go to this one. By the way, the star means the very first thing you worked on in your project, meaning what will preview in your profile. I can hit Shift 2 with it selected and it goes back to that one. Okay, so if you're zoomed out and let's say you were working on this one last and then you hit Shift 2, it's going to go to that one because you were working on it last. But if you want to go to a specific one, you click on it, Shift 2, there you go. Now, another really important part is maneuvering your artboard. Now, I have a mouse that has a side scroll wheel on it. This is kind of getting old, so it's got like black parts coming off. So anyway, it has a side scroll, and because I have a side scroll, I can move left and right with that side scroll. Now, I know not everybody has that, but I can hold the space bar, and you see my cursor has changed from an arrow to a hand. When I hold the spacebar and click and drag, I can move my artboard anywhere that my mouse moves, okay? No matter how zoomed out or zoomed in I am, I can hold the spacebar and maneuver left, right, up, down, diagonal, whatever. This is the strongest maneuvering feature, the industry standard for any design tool, okay? So you can move this all around by holding the spacebar, clicking and dragging, find the artboard you want, click it, Shift 2, baller hack right there, okay? Okay, one of my personal favorites that I used a lot today, actually, we did a video, is copying and pasting. You can copy and paste from a different browser. So let's go to Pinterest real quick. Let's type in something, no, all pins. Let's type in something like old advertisement just to see what comes up. I don't know. Maybe we really like, maybe we like the idea of this one. I love this one. It's very vintagey. I can right click, copy image. Okay. Right click, copy image. Now let's go back to Kittl. And then let's say over here on the side, I can either right click and paste, or I can click Command V. I'm going to go ahead and paste. And since I copied it from the other tab, boom, there it is. And now I have it for my reference, which is really, really cool, because if you found something that you liked in Pinterest, or if you found something you liked online, now all you have to do is just right click and copy it from that web page, from that tab, from that browser, come back to Kittl, right click and paste, or Command or Control V, and it will paste it right into your artboard, and it is now an uploaded image. Basically, it's uploading the image to Kittl for you to use and recall at any point. All right, so one thing that I use a lot, I'm going to go ahead and delete this as well, is Select All. Now, by the way, there's a shortcuts panel down here in the bottom left, and I don't think a lot of you are using this shortcuts panel, and I think it may just muscle memory, right, to figure out, because look right here, Shift 2, Fit View to Artboard. There's also a Fit View to Selection, and there's also a Fit View to Content, meaning if I were, so let's say Shift 3, so I selected this, Shift 3, it's gonna come here. If I go to Shift 2, it's gonna come back to here. But what I like to do a lot is using the Command A, and the Command A function, or Command or Control A, depending on what OS, what keyboard you use, whatever, will select everything, okay? Now, right now, it's like, it's fine. It's selecting everything. I don't really want it to select the artboard. Where I use this the most is when I've clicked into text and I'm working on text and I just want to click, I want to change all of it, then I can just Command A, boom, and I've selected all my text. I mean, this will work in any program, by the way. It should work in Google Docs. It should work in Microsoft Word. It should work in any other design tool. And then, I can change it to whatever I want. I can change it to, say, features instead. So I use this a ton, Command A, to select text, okay? Now you can select, you can select all, and then let's say I don't want the artboard. you can hold shift to not select everything. So I could just click this, hold the shift button, click this. Now I've got both of them selected. Or I can hit Command A, hold shift, deselect the artboard. Now I've got all this, whatever, So, but again, if your artboard is locked, you can just hover over everything, right? So if you're working on a design and you really want to move everything, you can move everything on the artboard by dragging over everything, okay? All right, so another feature that I think is really cool, I'm going to drop this down. We're going to take off the shading. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to add a circle. I use this a lot as well, especially when I open up a template of colors that I really like. So let's say we are going to create this radial gradient. I'm going to have several colors in here from orange to pink. I don't know, something like that. Something like that. Maybe it makes more sense for this to be in the middle. I'm not really sure. Maybe that makes a little more sense. Anyway, if I want to apply this to this, you can just go into your color selection, and now it's in your document colors. A little hard to see, but there it is, okay? And so this is especially cool for radial gradients because I can hit it, boom, there it is. It's applied to my text, okay? And all I had to do was select it, and I've moved it now, so now there's a second one. But you know what I mean. So if you find something that's really cool in a template, and you open it and you add more type, if you add more elements, obviously if I add a square, I can do the same thing. I can just pick that gradient, which is really, really cool. Saves a ton of time. You don't have to go and use the color dropper tool like a whole bunch. It's also especially cool when you're adding like transformations like this. It's super, super cool. Right? The radial gradients for text with transformations on it is really, really nifty. Especially, like I said, if you find a template that you already like a lot, just open it up, maybe copy and paste it over to this one, select your text, and go and grab that document color, just like there is anything else. So maybe you have an image. I get this question a lot. Maybe you have an image. This one's dope. I've actually been here. I've been here. I think this is this Sonjafoss? I'm actually not sure which. I've been here. This is in Iceland. I have stood right here where this photo is. I would never color grade it like that because it rarely looks that yellow. But I do have a picture of that. I just wanted to gloat about that. But anyway, so if I have this, and let's say you're just like trying to quickly get this to be, you're trying to get this to be your background. Well, you can just right click and then go down to where it says use as background. This button right here, I right clicked and used as background, and it will apply to your background. Okay. I feel like a lot of people are trying to figure out, let me Command Z. They're trying to figure out how to like get this to scale, and then they're like moving it over, and then it's like, oh, what am I supposed to do? I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. You can right click or hit these three dots here, use as background, and it'll immediately add it to your background. And then to edit it, because you can't click on it. You can't click on it because it's part of the background, but you can click the title. And now you can see the image is now your background, and you can still edit like your you can edit all of your stuff here. So like for example, if you wanted to blur it or make it really crispy or whatever you want to do, you can do that. So that is one way to do that, is right click and use as background. All right, another one that has to do with images. So let's say that we want this height to be 1200, and let's just move these out of the way for a second. Let's say you have an image, okay? You're working on an image, let's say clothing, and you have a picture. These guys look pretty cool. And you're filling it out, okay? You want this exact ratio. You don't want to click, you don't want to right click and hit fill or use as background, because if you do, their feet are going to get cut off, okay? It's going to expand it past the thing, like you just saw that. I want this ratio. Well, the hack then is, how do I blend this image with the background? Okay, how do I blend this image into the background? Now, this is really easy. I do this all the time. You may notice if you go back and look on the videos panel on our YouTube channel, a lot of our thumbnails have this technique I'm about to use, which is adding a box in the basic shapes, so basic elements and then basic shapes, okay? And what I'm gonna do is, to blend this in, what I'll do is I'll grab this shape, I'm gonna grab the color dropper tool, and I am gonna blend it with this like dark green. Okay, so I'm going to try to keep the colors consistent. I could do this brown, that might look cool. But so I've added this block, okay? I've added this block to come up to where it stops, okay? It stops right there. That's where the image stops. I'm going to add a second block, okay? A second block. Follow me here. Make this the same color green, but now what I need to do is make it a linear gradient. Okay, now I've got the green here, but I need to make this one go away, which I will do by clicking this button right here, the slash through it, where you can change the opacity of the alpha channel all the way down. So now I'm left with a gradient, okay? So now I can make this the exact width, all right? And I'll bring this down, okay? And as I bring this down, it makes the gradient more thicker, if you will, so that the crack becomes less noticeable, and it basically blends into the image. So this looks like it was an image that I just put an overlay on top of it, okay? And now you can do something like on sale. Let's take the shading off. And you put that here, and then you could create a little something. You can, a little promo, whatever, story post, I don't know. Now you may ask, why did you need 2 blocks there? Depending on the darkness of your image, maybe you don't, but I'll leave this one here, and I'll get rid of that bottom one. And you can tell that if I just use a gradient, it's way more obtrusive and difficult to see. Okay, I would have to basically just keep duplicating this a bunch. And so you see, when I did that, I've layered it on top so that the opacity is hitting it so often that now it has become nothing, but now I can't really see their shoes as well. You could say another way to do this would be grab the artboard and make the background color of the artboard green. So it's been down. So anyway, let me do this. So let me grab this guy, and then I'll grab this hex code, copy it, grab this guy. Okay, all right. So yeah, if I select it again, then nice, it becomes that. Or I guess I could just do this. I could just do solid color. I don't know why I didn't just do that. So that kind of works. That kind of works too. You could do the background, but that's only if the image is not the ratio that you want it to be in the first place. Anyway, I think you get what I mean. You can see more of their shoes here with the technique that I'm using. Yes, you could just use a gradient without extra blocks. You just have to duplicate it like 5 or 6 times. It's a hack. It's a hack, everybody. All right, I don't know if any of you knew this. Maybe you do. Used to, in the past, we would have to select one text at a time and change it. We would not be able to select multiple pieces of text at a time. But now what I can do is I can select multiple text boxes, and let's say I want them all to be adventure, I want them all to be cardamom, I want them all to be drippy, I want them all to be enter, I want them all to be acme, whatever. Now you can do it multiple at a time. In the same way, I can change all of the text colors at the same time. So now you can do a lot more with your text and your editing, because you can grab multiple and start adding things like letter spacing to all of them at the same time. You can select multiple, as many as you want, all of the texts that you want. I don't know if anybody knew that or not, and they've been still just applying one font to each one. If you're going to have multiple pieces of text with multiple different fonts, this does not benefit you. But let's say I just wanted these two headlines to be something else, like I know I want it to be a different condensed font like Skyrise. There you go. I can select both of them, hit Skyrise, and it's done. In a similar method, you could have a lot of different shapes over here, and you know they're all different colors. Let's go here. Let's do this one green, and oh, that's not green, but that's okay. Let's do this one green. And we all want them to be consistent. Well, I can select all of them, and I can grab all of them and make them all the same color. So for example, I can go here, down in the document colors, boom, down the document colors, boom, down the document colors there, and then grab that one. And now that they're all the same color, there's only one selection colors, right? So even if I click out and click them all again, selection color, now I have the freedom to make them all the same color very, very, very fast. And or if you had styles colors, you could make them all your style colors, which is in a different color, or excuse me, it's in a different video on the brand kits. You can check that out up in the cards. Brand kits is really, really cool because you can easily you can save your colors over here, and you can easily recall them at any point that you want, which is really, really, really cool and really efficient. All right, so the last one here that we're going to work on is really, really cool. It's definitely a hack. It's definitely a hack for sure. And what we're going to do is work on a text hack to make things look like they're cut out, or to make text look like it's cut out of itself. Now, I'm going to use Skyrise. It's fine. No problem there. I'm going to change this one to, let's go script. Let's pick one that we like. Maybe like Imperial Script is really cool. So like, let's do super new. Okay. And here's what I'm going to do. So if I have this on top, so right click, bring to front, I can put this like this, and it's actually pretty difficult to tell whether or not it's on top or behind because they're both the same color. I could change the color to something else completely, and then you know, but it's not what I want, okay? It's not what I want. So I could then say, let me add some shading. Let me add an outer outline width. So you see down here, it says outline width is blurred out. If I select block shadow, it gives me the ability to add outline width. And if I add the outline width as the color of the background, okay, now it creates this really cool thing, okay? And maybe we want to like change this so that there's less room for error. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then, you know, we can like beef this up to like it'll cut out even more, something like that. That actually looks pretty cool. Now, here's the problem with this. By the way, does everybody know how I got there? Just to clarify one more time, I went down to text shading, and on the third one, you have outline width, okay? I believe we're changing this to make this easier to do, to make outline width its own thing. Hopefully, if you want that, comment below. I'll tell them. Hopefully, we can make that faster. And then I added the outline width. I made the color the same color as the background. If I don't make it the same color as the background, the effect is dead. So I have to make it the same color as the background. Oops, let me switch that back to white. And then you can change your width. I mean, obviously something like that is not going to work, but this like just gives it that like slightly cut out effect. Here's the problem with that. If I change the artboard color, we're screwed, right? We're done. We can't really use this. And maybe I know that this is a component I'm going to use all the time, like this. I'm going to use this super new features all the time. Or maybe I've made a really cool t-shirt layout design that's this, okay? So here's the hack. I'm going to make this as big as I can. All right, here's the hack. I typically will duplicate this before I do anything like what I'm about to do. So what I do is I'm going to copy and paste this artboard. So this one is going to retain its vectorness, its editability. This one I'm going to download. I'm going to download this as a transparent, okay? I'm going to download this as a, you don't have to. This will work, by the way, if you just upload it, whatever. I'm going to remove the background, okay? That's the point that I'm trying to make. And then I'm going to download this as a, remove background as a transparent PNG. This will work if you download it as a PNG with the background on it because it's white. I'm going to drag this in from my downloads to my artboard. Okay, so here it is. Okay, and what I'm going to do is get rid of this because I don't need it. I'm going to put this on here. And then now what I can do is hit AI background remover. And what this is going to do is remove those white spaces from the text. And now what I can do is I can go and I can change my text. Isn't that cool? Now, it's not editable anymore. So think through that before you do it. That's why I said duplicate it, okay? That's why this is the last hack, because it takes a little bit longer to do, right? It's still editable here, okay? Not editable here. It's a picture. Now, I could set this to, I could vectorize it. That's fine. Like, let's say I duplicate it again, okay? And then I select this and I vectorize it. I don't need to vectorize multiple things because it's only one color. And then when it's vector, now it'll be black. And now I can go in here and I can change that to any color I want. Maybe I want it to be this cream on the whatever. Okay. That's a possibility. If you want a multiplicity of colors, or if you just know it's going to be black, and you just want to change the background color, you can do that. So again, just as the steps I did to get there, you have your two texts, okay, on, I would start on a white background because that's how you're going to get the effect. On the text you want to overlap, you're going to add text shading and add your outline width as the same color as the background. You're going to export that as a transparent PNG, meaning remove background from the PNG. You're going to upload it back into Kittl, and you're going to remove the background so that it is now, the background can be changed. And then if you want to change the actual color of the type, you can vectorize it, and then you can change the color of the type. So that is the last hack. It's the more intense one, but it's going to make some really, really cool stuff. I mean, just the potential. Just retain one that's completely editable. Just make just call it the main, or call it key, or whatever, like untouchable artboard that is the vector editable one, so that you don't export that one and then you upload it and it's gone and then you can't use it anymore. I just always duplicate it because yeah, and now you could do, what's cool about keeping it as a PNG or a JPEG or whatever is that you can now erase stuff. So if you just really didn't like parts of the swash here, you can just erase until it's gone, right? And then you can like put stuff behind it, overlap it in front. Graham did a really cool video on that. I'll link it up in the cards. It was really, really cool the way he did that with text. So that's what's cool about retaining as a PNG, or if you want to vector it and change the color, you can do that. So those are the hacks. I think that was 10 or 11 hacks in this video that are really, really cool. They're going to save you tons of time. Let me know if this video was helpful for you by hitting the thumbs up button and subscribing, please. There are so many. Oh my gosh, there are so many of you that watch and don't subscribe. I need you. I need your help. I need you to hit that subscribe button. It's probably glowing. I think that's a cool thing YouTube does now, is that it glows around that button. When you subscribe, it really helps us out. It helps us reach more people with our videos. It gives us the necessary things we need to make more videos. It also just helps us get more comments from people that see the videos that want more help. Therefore, we know the topics to make. So if you can subscribe to the channel, that would be absolutely amazing. Please drop your comments. Let us know which one of these was your favorite hack. Let us know which ones you want to see in the future. Let us know features that you want, everything like that. And we will see you in the next video.